6 years ago, I made a video predicting Dragon Age 4, and now it's time to check my work. And if you are looking to pre-order Veilguard or purchase any of the Dragon Age games on the EA app, why not throw in the code GIL during checkout? I'll get a small kickback from it, and while it is not a coupon code, you do get the peace of mind that a small percent of your money is going to help pay my rent and not another CEO's facelift. All right, so nobody requested this, but it's been something I wanted to do actually when I made the video 6 years ago, not knowing that it would be 6 more years before I did it. But I made a video trying to predict what I thought Dragon Age 4 would be, and I have not touched it since. I have not looked at it. I have completely ignored it, and I honestly don't remember what I said. So this is going to be kind of scary to see how well I did. I will say there is one part I do remember, so I want to call it out. But at one point I say possible companions, and then I go on to say basically all of the comic characters and then Harding. Obviously I got one right. But after that, that's it. And then there's 16 more minutes to this video. So let's see if we can cringe our way through 16 minutes. I will say, like, probably a lot of you are more used to how I sound in older videos than I am, but this is recorded with my old mic and I sound a lot different. I'm a lot younger. I'm in my 20s. I'm peppy again. The world didn't explode yet. So, things are going good for this version of Katie. And things have changed. So, yeah, let's see what I say and just kind of, I'll probably like pause here and there to give like opinions and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's play it. Welcome, patrons. This is already the the quality of the mic. Why did you guys put up with that? I don't know. I know I'm probably like, 6 years from now when I'm doing like I predict Dragon Age 5 and it's me doing whatever the fuck that I'm going to be annoyed with this mic quality, but we'll see. All right, continuing. Going off my normal schedule a bit, but just after... Do you remember when I had a schedule? Anyway. Seeing all of the hullabaloo about E3, it just has me excited for Dragon Age 4 again, which we will not be seeing at this E3. Stop asking. Oh, wow. Sorry. Okay, so Ellis, this tweet is in reference to the Ellis tweets. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. The joke is I don't quite remember what Greg Ellis said. Greg Ellis is a voice actor for Cullen, who if you don't know, it's best not to know, but he's just kind of gone off on his own a bit and did some strange things, and no one's really happy with him. I'll leave it there. It's not happening. But anyway, if you follow me on Twitter, I've been saying that I'm going to be making a video on Dragon Age 4 news that we know, which I do still plan on doing, but this is just... Oh, wow. Okay, sorry. The people above me are moving. You will hear weird bumps for the video. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I remember that time in my life. Wow. Yeah. No one cares about that but me. Okay. I've moved around so often that in the past couple years, I forget what that old apartment was like. Oh God, how iconic. You remember when I used to have seasonal buds to some of my videos because my window is right outside of an air conditioning unit? Oh man, the days. It's going to be a little bit different. This video is my personal predictions on what we could be seeing in the next game. If nothing else, this video will just be fun to look back on and see how much I got wrong. Indeed. The setting. It's Tevinter. We all know it's Tevinter. I got it! The more interesting guess is, would we be seeing anywhere else? While Tevinter has enough going on in just the one name... Oh my god, sorry, the background music just swelled. Okay, the song you're going to be hearing in the background here is, I thought it would be really cute to reverse the Dark Souls theme And so that's what it is. I think do I even like have it linked? No, I don't. I used to like have it on my Google Drive for people to download. That link might still be active somewhere. I haven't cleaned out my Google Drive in ages, but okay, so yeah, I for some reason I put that in the background music because I thought it was cute. Moving on.
I think BioWare might have something planned for the other nations.
Okay,
If you look back on when the Red Rook book was released, it included a sheet that seemed to have character designs for factions of other nations, most notably the Navaran Mortalitasi, possible Navaran soldiers, Kenari, and Fog Warriors.
Well,
we also
we
get
didn't
a
get the
peek
Fog
at Grey
Warriors.
Wardens, Antivan Crows, Deluge, and Ancient Elven wear, lots of Tevinter and Slave attire, and then unusual Dwarven attire. There's a lot that can go on in this game. So based on just this page, I'm thinking we might venture out to a few of the nations bordering the Imperium, like Navarra and the Anderfels, and possibly even take a look at Saharon.
Well, I didn't get Saharon, but the rest of that's spot on.
With this same reasoning, you could also argue for a possible visit to Kal Sharok or Antiva, but seeing as how Kal Sharok doesn't really allow visitors, and the Crows are pretty much in almost every nation, I get a feeling that perhaps we'll just be seeing representations for these factions rather than seeing them in their natural setting.
Well, I mean, that's not quite right. We did actually go to Kal Sharok. Granted, not as much as I would like, but yeah, and we definitely saw the Crows. So, but the Crows kind of changed in between now and then, so I don't know if I'd count that as something. But okay, we'll move on.
Which you could argue this for the Grey Wardens as well, but from the novel The Last Fight we did learn that Griffins are coming back, and from the end of Dragon Age Inquisition there is something bad going down with the Wardens. As we have not heard of a Warden base in Tevinter, it makes the most sense to head to the Warden capital in the Anderfels.
So I was right and wrong on that because Inquisition absolutely said that there was something going on with the Wardens. However, that was just not something explored in Veilguard at all. I'm not actually sure that was even wrapped up. There was just some bullshit going on with the Wardens, and it was fixed in the decade in between Trespasser and Veilguard, or whatever the exact time frame is.
The title. This is going into a bit of a crackpot theory, but did you know that Dragon Age 2 original name was Dragon Age Exodus? So with that in mind, so far all of the subtitles of Dragon Age have started with a vowel.
This isn't gonna
Origins,
go well.
Exodus, and Inquisition.
I don't know why I was so attached to the
fact
vowel
that I like sticking with a theme, but I hope that the next subtitle follows suit and starts with either an A or a U, maybe a Y, or maybe even they go back to E since technically they did skip it.
I don't know why I really wanted the vowel thing so much, but we had 2 tries. We had 2 different titles, and none of them were vowels.
Perhaps it could be Aftermath, as in the veil was torn down, and what do we do now? Perhaps it's United, as in we have to unite against Solus. Maybe
bad.
even Yearn, because it's been 4 years since the last game, and I'm getting...
That one kind of works, though. Like, it's not a good title, but like, you know.
restless. It could really be anything, but I kind of hope it sticks with the theme here. The games have also had a fairly strong color associated with them. Inquisition was green, Dragon Age 2 was red, and while Origins did really have a mishmash, fans have given it the color blue to represent the Wardens, although there was also a lot of blue in the trailers. So what color will Dragon Age 4 be? Tevinter uses a lot of blacks and dark colors, so I can see black being a heavy color theme, but that's kind of boring, and BioWare has just been using a lot of bright colors as of late. So my personal hope is that it's purple, although the red book is a clue, perhaps they just repeat red again.
Purple. I'm so happy it's purple. I know that's like my favorite color, but like, got that one.
Companions and NPCs.
Oh, we're gonna whiff it here.
So far, all 3 games have companions that group into 4 categories. Mage, rogues, warriors, and other. The other section has really only been used for Dog and Shale in Dragon Age Origins and haven't really been touched since, so I doubt we have any companions that fit into that category. But for the other 3, for the most part, there has been at least 3 of each. Sort of. Dragon Age 2 had 3 of each if you counted both siblings, 4 rogues if you count Talus, who was only temporary. Dragon Age Origins had 2 mages and rogues, and 4 warriors, although only 3 at a time. So how many in Dragon Age 4? I would put money on keeping with Dragon Age Inquisition's 3 of each system, as it just helps with party composition.
Which that I mean, obviously the party composition thing is like completely different because they just changed how they do the gameplay, and how many party members you can have. But like also Veilguard is very weird in that like you have a couple of like multi-class, like Bellara, she's a mage and an archer. And then you have like Lucanus, where he's a rogue, but he's also a demon. And so there's there's some magic-y stuff going on there. Tosh is a warrior for sure, but like, I don't know. The fire thing is also it's not magic, but it's also like an AoE attack, which you don't really get with a lot of warriors. So like, I don't know. It's hard for me to like put some of those characters in like a here you go, like these are your rogues, solidly rogues, these are your solidly mages, this is your solidly warriors. They all kind of like blend a little bit. Maybe I don't play on Nightmare, and I haven't really been reading a lot of how the game's played, so I don't even know if like you need to think this hard about party composition anymore. It's more about like how you build them out. I don't know. I feel like this section doesn't really apply to Veilguard largely.
So let's make a chart. As for who the companions will be, let's look first to the recent comic books. Knight Aaron ends with the elven thief Feya and the human warrior Sir Aaron joining the Inquisition and leaving to Deventer. So I would honestly be shocked if they don't show up.
Well, I'm not okay, to be fair, at the time I thought the comics were building up to the game. And then it really wasn't that long after this video came out that the comic writers came out and be like, no, sorry, this is just a fun thing. Like we have the writers like have input into the comics, but we largely have control. And then I was like, oh, they're not going to show up. So at this point in my life, I totally think it's related, but like not that long after this came out, it was definitely not that. So yeah, we did get to see some codex entries though, if anyone caught that. There was some codex entries that mentioned some of the comic characters when they met with Charter.
So that fills up a warrior and a rogue slot.
Oh, both
The
of them.
other new comic, Mage Killer, ends at the same time as Inquisition, but both Tessa and Marius show up in Knight Errant, meaning that they still work for the Inquisition, as both have connections with Deventer, and I can't see why BioWare would publish their story if they weren't going to use them later.
Womp womp.
I'm also betting they show up as well, filling in another rogue and warrior slot. At the end of Trespasser, we also see Dorian and Maevaris, who first appeared in the comics, seemingly trying to right the wrongs in Deventer society. A lot of people have guessed that Dorian and May will then be companions, which is possible. So far, at least one previous companion shows up and again in the next game as another companion, and Dorian is really the only one to make sense out of the old lineup. But I don't think we're going to get both Dorian and May, and I kind of get the feeling that Dorian is going to be too busy with his work to go out adventuring with us. So I'm going to have Dorian and May share a spot for now, because I think...
And then it was neither. They both show up at least.
I think we will be getting one of them, I just don't know which one. At a guess, I would lean towards May over Dorian, but I think that Dorian's going to get a spot kind of similar to the Advisors and Dragon Age Inquisition, where he doesn't go out traveling with us, but we do see him a lot. And with that, we have one empty slot for both warriors and rogues, and 2 for mages. So who will they be? There are a few guesses of old characters. Fainreal is a popular guess.
Oh god, remember Fainreal? I'm probably going to explain who this guy is, so I'm not going to bother with it. But like, yeah, did he? I don't think he showed up at all, right? Like, there's not like even a codex or anything about it.
If he is not made tranquil, he goes off to Deventer. But I think there's just too many open ends for him to be a solid companion. I think he's going to be a side character at best, and a companion with not a lot going on because of the amount of fates he has at worst. A while back ago, Gator hinted that he was writing a novel that involved a lot of Fenris. Sadly, the project was canned long before he left, but people have taken it to be a hint that he will show up in the next game, perhaps even as a companion.
I'm pretty sure this came out before Fenris appeared in the comics, so there's that. But Fenris. We just all want more Fenris.
And Fenris does have a lot of interesting plot points that could happen in Deventer as he's an escaped slave. But Marius has the exact same storyline. I don't think we would be getting both in the same party, so I say that if Fenris does show up, it's a cameo at best. While Shale did say she was going back to Deventer with Wynn, and Wynn's dead, so she's not going to show up, I don't think she will be a companion. It might have crossed their minds, but I think it would be way too expensive to have one party member with the very unique fighting animations and movesets that aren't going to be used anywhere else. At best, I think she makes a cameo.
Didn't even get that. Oh, but we get Harding. Yeah, I really do wish there was some, like, little nice, neat bow of Shale, but her voice actor passed away actually not that long ago. So, like, I get that you could probably, of all characters to recast, you could probably recast Shale and get away with it, but, like, yeah, that one's rough, because which if you look up her voice actor, Shale's, like, one of the only things she's ever done, which is wild. But I mean, like, there's some other stuff, but it's a very small IMDb. But yeah, which is real sad. I thoughts to her family. We'll always remember you, Shale voice actress whose name I don't know.
Scout Harding is also a popular choice because she's a cutie dwarf that we all want to romance.
Hey,
and
we
that's
got one.
Really all she has going for her at the moment. And really, I think it's the most possible choice so far. The devs have talked about how they want to do a dwarven romance, and Harding would be the perfect choice for that because people already love her. At this moment, I would even go so far as to very lightly put her on my list as a rogue. Which does...
I'm lightly on the list that she's the only one that ends up appearing.
Does now mean that all the rogues are female, which kind of makes me wonder if they aren't going to do Harding because of that reason, but it's a possibility that they just go ahead and do it. But I think for the most part, these slots aren't going to be filled by people we already know. It's going to be by people we haven't met. As for who those could be, here's just a couple guesses I have. I would guess at a Qunari companion that's a mage or rogue. I can't see them doing another warrior because you already have two already with Iron Bull and Sten.
Tosh is definitely a warrior leaning. I almost want to say, like, because there is concept art of them that is a little bit roguey, and I don't know, they are just so solidly a warrior. Maybe, they are a warrior. Yeah, they're a warrior. So we're 3 for 3 on Qunari companions being warriors. there was my beloved Sarbok or whatever from Deventer Knights that was very nearly a companion but got cut I didn't say last minute. It was like years ago. he didn't make it out of the concept phase, but I think he might have been a rogue, maybe. But yeah, we'll see. He wouldn't have been a mage. He was Qunari.
But whoever this person is, I would vote on Tal Vashoth to give an interesting perspective on the Qunari, and perhaps even a female. I think a male elf is going to be on the list because so far we have always had at least one male elf, and they've been very popular. I think one of them is going to be associated with the Executors, and that person...
well, kind of, maybe? Okay, so the video's not out yet, but I'm currently building up a What Are the Executors video, and there is some connection, maybe, possibly, if you squint hard enough, between the Executors and Inaris, and Balara's whole story is about Inaris, so, like... maybe if you squint.
Is going to be the one who betrays you. Probably also romanceable. I have a feeling that this might actually be...
Which, is this the first Dragon Age where a companion doesn't betray you? We broke the curse, everybody. Look at us go. Look at us go.
Aaron is to just find him fishy for some reason, but that's just me. That could be nothing. I think one is going to meet a mature, older female that won't be romanceable, but people wish that she was.
I mean, that description kind of fits Nev, actually. But she is romanceable, and she's younger, but, like, mature, as in, like, emotionally mature. This is kind of Nev.
This might also be Maevaris. Yeah. I think one of the mages is going to have questionable alliances, but this time it's not going to be the one who betrays you. It's going to be one of the warriors, I think.
I mean, we didn't get a betrayal and questionable alliance. Like, that could be...
This person might have ties to the ancient elves, but have given it up for some reason. That reason might be either they befriend the PC, romance the PC, or have some other relationship with an unknown NPC. So far, we have always had a Grey Warden companion. Or, well, mostly, but you get what I mean. So I think one of the empty slots will also be a warden, which will tie us to the warden questline and maybe even griffins.
So Davrin. This is Davrin.
This warden could be Valia from the novel Last Flight, who would then fit into the mage slot, but I'm
we do
unsure.
Meet her, though.
It could possibly even be Sir Aaron, who would be hiding the fact that he is a warden.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, they in the Heroes of Dragon Age mobile game that is dead. They showed Sir Aaron in like a gray warden gear. Yeah, wow.
He, for some reason, uses warden armor in Heroes of Dragon Age artwork, which, if you know anything about Heroes of Dragon Age, they just have a very long list of art that just doesn't make sense within the world of the lore. It's bizarre. Anyway, now, more importantly,
who is that man? I don't know him. For some reason, this everyone sticks in my mind, but like the Anders is always a shock. I don't know him. Okay, moving on.
Of my list, who is going to be romanceable? I'm not going to bother much with my vague guesses, but out of the hard list, if Dorian is a companion, he won't be romanceable. If May is, I can really see it going either way. She's a widow, so I think that perhaps she won't be ready for another lover, but if she is, I would bet that she's either interested in only men or both genders. Tessa, while she would make a very good female-only romance, I don't think is going to be romanceable. She's already in a relationship with Charter, and unless they have broken up by the time Dragon Age 4 starts, or the romance involves you stealing her away from Charter, I can't see it happening.
Can I just say, though, like a romance where you steal someone away from their current partner would kind of slap. Like, it would be, not healthy, perhaps, but it would be a lot of fun. I'm into strange things. That would be really interesting. I don't know. I like that idea.
Alternatively, this is going to be the first romance where you're in a polyamorous relationship. But again, I have my doubts.
Yeah, no.
Marius is going to be the Cullen/Alistair romance for the game, available for females only. Sir Aaron is probably not going to be romanceable, but I do hope he is, because I think that'd be interesting. I don't really have a solid guess for who could.
I may not have gotten Sir Aaron, but I did get Emmerich, the older guy. So I got my grandpa no matter what, I suppose.
Could romance him, though, so I think he could go either way, perhaps being bi. Thea will be romanceable, probably going to be the male-only romance. And if Scout Harding is a companion, she would be romanceable by both genders. The story. So I'm going to start out this section saying that I have a history of being really, really bad at guessing what BioWare will do next in the story.
That I want to expand on that a little bit, but when I was first playing the Dragon Age games by myself in my room, not knowing what they are, I played Origins and be like, oh, okay, so these games must be about the Blights. And then I start 2 and it was anything but. And so I go into Inquisition, like, oh, well, this must be something to do with, like, the Mage Templar exploding, and, like, there's something about, like, the Warden and Hawk going on, and then, like that was not it. So, each game has surprised me in many ways, and Veilguard was the same. I remember when they pulled us in to play the game for the first time on the council, where we got to play the alpha. They didn't tell us what the beginning of the game was like. So the game starts and you just like waltz into Solus's ritual. And I'm like, what the fuck? We start here? What the fuck do you mean we start here? This is level 1. So yeah, Veilguard definitely shocked, which if I highly doubt I go on to say it, but like, because I don't remember what I said here. So what did I say? What did I say?
But Trespasser pretty clearly set up what we should be expecting in the next game. I don't want to just sit here and pitch cool story ideas to you, so instead, here's just a few small story beats that I think are possible.
Okay.
The player character is going to be some new hire from the Inquisition.
Okay.
Either this person has a personal stake in what Solus has done, or at the very least with the Inquisition, which would kind of be the same story arc as Hawk, or they're going to have some strange ability that the Inquisition needs, like the Inquisitor and the Warden.
I mean, I guess the strange ability is just we have that connection with Solus, but like, yeah, we do. I mean, we work through Varric. That's kind of working for the Inquisition.
The PC can be a human, elf, dwarf, or Qunari, but while the camera for dwarves and Qunari won't be as bad as it was in Dragon Age Inquisition,
That's
people
true.
are still going to complain about how there aren't enough dialogue choices between the races.
I guess it hasn't come out yet, but I assume that's correct.
And Origins will not be making a comeback.
No.
The Inquisitor is going to make
expensive.
small cameos here and there, most likely in that absolutely hideous red suit that we all hate.
I wasn't right, but I wasn't wrong either. The Inquisitor has no fashion sense. Sorry, does anybody like the Inquisitor, what the Inquisitor wears in Veilguard? I don't think anybody does. Like, it's just as strange looking because it's a gear for the Shadow Dragons. Okay, whatever. We're moving on.
But for the most part, is probably going to keep a distance to us until later in the game, perhaps the final level. Really, if the Inquisitor isn't there for the final confrontation with Solas, I don't know what BioWare is doing.
Yeah, that's fair. Granted, like I guess there was 2 confrontations with Solas, and I do wish Llewellyn was a part of the first one. Whatever. But yeah, no, like that's basically what happened. I was right on that.
If we do end up visiting the Wardens, we'll probably see Hawk if you chose them to go with.
Woof. Rip. Not even a mention for Hawk.
With the Wardens, at the end of Here Lies the Abyss. If Hawk was left in the Fade, then it's either going to be Stroud, Loghain, or Alistair. Now, granted, at the end of Trespasser, it says that Hawk came home to Kirkwall, so it is very possible if we do see the Wardens again, we're not going to be able to see Hawk.
Yeah.
The Warden isn't going to come back. We might...
I knew it was true, but I have been coping this entire time, so...
might see a couple codex entries about them or what they're doing, but we're not going to see them in the flesh. Yeah. While Solas and the Ancient Elves are going to be the main antagonists, I think there are going to be other negative forces against us. The obvious idea would be politics in Tevinter or the Qunari, although Solas does mention that the Qunari are unlikely to attack again anytime soon. Solas needs to find a way to get enough power to do what he wants. If he was able to take down the Veil now, he would have done so already. He needs to prepare for something. It might be more power, it might be allies, it might be a special item, we don't know. But our main goal is to stop him from completing whatever that goal is.
While not what ended up happening, that was kind of the plot beat in Joplin, which was the original Dragon Age, and I think was the Dragon Age at the time this was published. So... 2018 though, or 2018. Maybe. At one point that was the goal, but it did not end up panning out.
Titans are going to be involved. Either Solas has to kill Titans for power, or Solas is going to try to ally with Titans to help them bond the doors back to their stone. Kalsharak is somehow aligned with the ideals of the Titan and will act in the best
that was right. Holy shit, okay. Through Volta.
Interest of one, at least. Volta is going to act on her own, and my guess as an opposing force to whatever side Kalsharak is on.
Oh, that's a whiff. That's a whiff. That's a whiff.
Tevinter is going to be stuck in some sort of political turmoil that we have to solve to get help from them.
Now, I will say I have not done the Minrathous route yet. I saved Treviso the first time. So I don't know how much of this I can confidently say through, but I know a bit.
Obvious conflicts are the use of slaves in Tevinter and the treatment of elves.
Oh, wait, just go on. I mean, like, from what I hear, that largely is kind of sidetracked, even though it is kind of like a little bit in there. So that's something.
Solas is not going to die. The way the Keep words the Trespasser choice at the end of Inquisition kind of is odd. You either stop Solas or attempt to redeem him. There is no mention of killing.
Honestly, I'm surprised I say that.
Because I
think I flipped my opinion later on.
I don't think we can kill him. Look at Mythal. She was killed, but she still lives in some form. And the Inquisitor knows this. Solas even brings it up to the Inquisitor. They definitely know about it. I also don't think it's going to be possible to redeem Solas like a lot of us want.
I'm glad I was wrong on that one, though. I got that one.
There's going to be a lot of give and take between this choice, and it's not going to be happy either way. Solas is going to stop whatever he's doing when his people are immortal and is able to live on their own once again.
That I whiffed too. I guess I wasn't expecting his feelings for Mythal to be as important as they are. Granted, like, I do wish we had some sort of resolution on, like, Solus doesn't want to do what he's doing because he feels like the world is full of people and he doesn't want to kill them. I get that. But I do wish we kind of got some like a little like bone thrown about like why he's also okay like abandoning the immortality of the elves. You know, like I do wish we kind of got some of that.
Depending on your choices, he already knows that the world of Thedas is very valuable and shouldn't be killed,
Yeah.
but to him, his people are the most important thing. And I don't think we can convince him otherwise. I think the only way to redeem him will be to give him what he wants in some form, or, instead of killing him, we trap him.
I mean, yeah.
I think this will either be the major choice of the game, or Solus will be trapped no matter what. Despite the threat of the Elven Gods being released if the Veil comes down, I don't think they're actually going to be that much of a threat in Dragon Age 4.
Woof. That's like the main threat. I'm glad for it though. I love Gilly and Elgardon. They're great.
That seems like something for another game. The Veil...
Oh, another game. Oh, I was thinking of game 5. Oh, if only though. If the Elven Gods come back in another game, I would be so excited. I love those weirdos so much.
Needs to be either reinforced or taken down. The Veil was made...
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, because it then gets reinforced by Solus. I called that maybe?
Majorly weakened in Inquisition, and now that we know that it's man-made, there is a threat that it can come down naturally. I don't think taken down will work unless a compromise is found, so another major part of the game would try to be figuring out how to improve it without Solus.
I mean, that's not right. Duh. Yeah, I guess Solus just does it himself. He's the power behind the Veil now.
This answer might come from Titans.
Oh,
the Executors will show up randomly with a MacGuffin or answer that we need, perhaps giving us a bad deal in order to take it.
Oh, that would have cooked, though. Can you imagine? That would actually been really cool. No, they do show up, but like they're just like in the background and doing their own little jig. They're just kind of there. If you're not paying attention, you will completely miss it. But yeah, I kind of wish they were in the game more than they are, just to like have a little bit more taste of what is supposed to be the next plot hook and villains of the series.
At the end, the Executors will be set up to be the next major villains for some future game, once again leaving us wondering about the Canary War that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon.
Hey, look! I'm proud of that one! Look at me go!
Isabella, Liliana, Alistair, Colin, or Tegan will make some sort of appearance.
Well, I got Liliana. Sorry, not Liliana. Sorry, I got Isabella. Was it Isabella, Dorian are the only 2 cameos from past games?
Keeping with traditions of being in every game so far. Sandal won't be seen again, but instead, another reference into Codex entry.
No, we didn't get
the last boss fight with Solus will have him turn into a giant wolf of some sort with a bunch of eyes.
Okay, hold on. We didn't actually fight it, but he did turn into the wolf. So, I got that going for me.
We will see griffins.
Yes.
Perhaps even try to buy one from the wardens.
I wish.
This will either be a special mount, a major plot point, or maybe even a way to just explain how we fast travel between the different nations.
Which was pitched apparently, but we went with the Luvians instead. We have baby griffins now.
We will need something from the wardens, and in order to get it, we have to somehow help them figure out what's going on over there with the Civil War. And that, dear patrons, are all of my predictions for Dragon Age 4. I did try to stick with things that I think are most certainly true, or at least how I see the series going. Do you agree with me? Do you have anything else to add? I want to see what you all are thinking, because I think it'd be a nice little place to just plop whatever you think is going to happen down there, and people from the future can come and see how wrong or right we were.
Yeah, really.
If you still lingering questions, proof that I'm wrong, comments about your own fan theory, feel free to tweet me at @Gilderthon on Twitter, or send a PM to User Gillanon on Reddit. Doresh Sharal.
Okay, well there you go. I did better than I thought. I was cringing less than I thought I was going to. But I think overall that I think less than half was was correct, or in some, like, if you squint your eyes. Mostly because the companion section, I just absolutely whipped it. So yeah, this is for future reference. When people ask me what do I think is going to happen in Dragon Age 5, I'm going to point this video and go, girl, I didn't even know what was going to happen in Dragon Age 4. How was I supposed to know? So yeah, that I didn't do terrible, but I didn't do great. All right, well, so with that, I will see you all hopefully soon with an actual lore video. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I am working on one on the secret end, the executors. Um, the script is done at this point. I'm just trying to actually get the video out now, and like make a couple edits as we're even finding new things in the game because we're just it's a big game. There's a lot to sort through. So and with that, guys, we'll see you next time. And Dareth Sharal.